Welcome everybody to the nationwide prayer campaign to end abortion. Together, we might be small, but we do a great thing when we do it with all of our hearts. We know that this is a good cause. We have Marie Tasy today, and she will be speaking after we pray. So let's get on with the prayer. Thank you once again for praying. We're almost there to the finish line. We're hoping for victory. Today we have Marie Tasy. Marie Tasy is currently the Executive Director of New Jersey Right to Life. Marie Tasy has been recognized on behalf of her work for the most vulnerable in society. Marie was the recipient of the 2006 Diocese of Metuchen Pro Vita Award, the 2006 recipient of the Life Choices Resource Center in Metuchen, New Jersey's Faithful Servant Award, the recipient of the 2004 National Eagle Forum Faith and Family Award, and the 2001 recipient of the Friend of Adoption Award by the Washington, D.C. based National Council for Adoption. Marie Tasy was one of 40 New Jersey women given the Women of Achievement Award for Women's History Month in 2001 by the New Jersey Legislature. Marie works with federal and state legislators and helped craft and spearhead most important legislative bills, some of which successfully passed both houses of the legislature. Some of these include the New Jersey Safe Haven Infant Protection Act, the New Jersey Partial Birth Abortion Ban Act, and the New Jersey Parental Notification Act. She has also helped craft the New Jersey Parental Notification Constitutional Amendment Act, the New Jersey Pain Capable Unborn Child Protection Act, and New Jersey Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act, and other pro-life legislation. Wow. In 2007, Marie orchestrated a legal and educational campaign to help defeat a deceptive $450 million stem cell ballot referendum, which would have used taxpayer money to fund the cloning and killing of human beings. She served on the Bush-Cheney 04 New Jersey Transition Team and the 04 Bush-Cheney Catholic Outreach Team. In addition to her duties as Executive Director of New Jersey Right to Life, Marie has given guest lectures and presentations at high schools and universities and often participates in panel discussions and debates. She has led press conferences, lobbying days, and rallies at the State House. She frequently testifies before legislative committees on issues which affect the sanctity of human life. She is an advisory board member for Life Choices Pregnancy Center in Phillipsburg, New Jersey, and the New Jersey Interfaith Breakfast for Life Committee, and served on the state's Safe Haven Awareness Promotion Task Force, where she served as the vice chair. Governor Christie appointed her as the Genetic Council Advisory Committee, on which she presently serves. She is married and the mother of 3 daughters and 3 grandsons. It looks like you're a very high achiever. How are you, Marie? Wait, your voice is not on. For some reason, it's not going on. Okay.
Okay. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming. That is incredible.
hmm Okay. So right now, New Jersey is facing one of the most radical bills that has ever been introduced. It's called the New Jersey Reproductive Freedom Act. It really is a license to kill act. It completely, I'm hearing it echo when I speak. I'm hearing myself twice. No, I don't. Okay. Okay. Start from the beginning? No, I'm hitting myself twice. Do you hear an echo? Maybe it stopped. Okay, great. All right, great. So, as I was saying, New Jersey introduced a bill. It's called the New Jersey Reproductive Freedom Act, and it's one of the most radical bills that they have ever introduced here in New Jersey. The intention is to preempt any effort by the U.S. Supreme Court to overturn Roe versus Wade and to prevent future legislatures in the state and the people of New Jersey from having a say if that ever happens. It completely removes any protections for babies in the womb, and it says that babies that the bill says a fertilized egg, embryo, or fetus shall not have independent rights under the laws of the state. It also explicitly guarantees. The language says it explicitly guarantees to every individual the fundamental right to reproductive autonomy, which includes the right to contraception, the right to abortion, the right to carry a pregnancy to term. It completely invalidates any current legislation or regulations that's in effect with regard to abortion, which includes regulations that have been long governed by the New Jersey Board of Medical Examiners. The current regulations in New Jersey say that an abortion has to be performed by a physician licensed to practice medicine and surgery in the state of New Jersey. The current regulations also say that after 14 weeks, an abortion has to be done by an OB/GYN who has hospital admitting privileges within 20 minutes of the location that they're in. It also says that after 20 weeks, they have to, present a certain type of continuing education requirement credits to show that they have the skill to perform these abortions and have the proper staff. And they recognize in the actual regulations that this is, of course, a danger to women, especially as far, the more progressed that the pregnancy is, the more that the danger to the woman increases. So that will invalidate all of that. In addition, this law will allow abortion to be performed by non-physicians, advanced care practice nurses, midwives, physician assistants, or any health professional that is licensed under Title 45 of the New Jersey statutes. That includes physical therapists, believe it or not. So obviously, it removes all protections and will make abortion less safe for women. Again, as I said, it completely, takes away any kind of acknowledgement about babies and the fact that they are alive and that they have any type of rights whatsoever. It permits non-physicians to perform abortions. And it also, this is unbelievable. I mean, it's just really astounding. It exempts prosecution for individuals who attempt to terminate their own pregnancy. And it removes any prosecution for anyone that were to attempt to terminate their own pregnancy. It would include situations where you hear about women who have babies alone and they leave them to die, like the prom mom, or they act in a deliberate way to take the life of that baby. It would remove any attempt to prosecute a mother who would intentionally harm her baby after it's born. That is just unbelievable. It's just, I can't even fathom that. In addition, it prevents any type of medico-legal death investigation or autopsy where a fetal death occurs without medical attendance. Again, this is meant to grant immunity for prosecution for those type of cases. It will also mandate an annual allocation of Planned Parenthood under Title 10 in the state budget. You may know that Governor Murphy has allocated, since he's been in office, over $23 million of our tax money to Planned Parenthood. That will continue, and it will now be part of the annual budget process. It does also require that all insurance carriers provide coverage for abortion and expands coverage for contraceptives from 6 months supply to 12-month supply. It is a really radical bill, and it is something that we really have to fight with all of our energies. I invite all of you to go on our website. We have an action alert up there. We have a pre-written message that you could send to your legislators. It's really kind of interesting that the advocates of abortion keep saying, we won't go back, but yet they're the ones that are living in the past. I mean, Roe versus Wade is a decision that was made 47 years ago. And in that decision, the court said that when medicine and science cannot come to consensus on when life begins, the judiciary, and this point in man's knowledge, is not in the position to speculate as to the answer. That was 47 years ago. We knew then, obviously, that the baby in the womb was a human being and deserving of protection. But now we have medicine and science that has advanced to such a point that we can see babies on ultrasound sucking their thumbs and doing somersaults in their mother's wombs. We can actually see the baby's heart beating in an ultrasound before a woman even knows she's pregnant. The development of a baby in the womb happens so rapidly, and all systems are there. We know that this is a separate human being. The DNA, everything, the baby just grows. That all it is needed to do is to grow and mature. But all systems are there, fingers and toes. The body, it's just a lot tinier. Obviously, given time, it will develop into a full-term baby. And this is how we all started our lives. But we still keep hearing these arguments about, no one should tell you what to do with your body. And yet we know that this is not just the woman's body. This is a separate human being with a separate blood supply. The baby's heart is beating. It's just incredible that they are still relying on these old antiquated arguments. They keep talking about the fact that, many times these babies aren't viable and they're going to die, and how insensitive it is of the pro-life movement, to judge women and force them, to give birth. And of course, we're not about judging. We all know that. We're there to help women. But we also know that it is never necessary to kill a baby to save the life of the mother. I have learned this in some of my work on the partial birth abortion bill. I worked with a lot of OBGYNs in the state of New Jersey who signed a document certifying this. What they say is that if there is a life-endangering situation for the mother, which of course can happen, they can wait until viability almost all the time. And if the mother's health is at a point where it really does become a situation for her where she could die, they induce labor. And in doing so, if the baby dies, that's obviously a very sad situation. But it's not the same as a deliberate act of going into the womb and tearing apart a baby, slicing up a baby, causing immeasurable pain to this poor little baby. Very different. And of course, they just don't want to admit that. They just completely ignore that. They also will say that, babies do not survive abortions, and yet we know so many have. We know Melissa Ohden, we know Gianna Jensen. There's a whole list of people who have come forward who said that they have been abortion survivors. And of course, they just want to silence their voices. So this is something that we really need to work very hard and educate the population. So many people do not understand that abortions can be performed the entire 9 months of pregnancy. And with this law, you can guarantee it will. The way that they're presenting this is that this will help minority communities in particular because they're underserved and they don't have the same access to healthcare, as other, ethnicities and populations. And unfortunately, there have been a number of sponsors who have signed on that are from the minority community. What this bill will really do is obviously cause even more problems for those communities. The pro-life movement has always been there, to help women, and we're really going to have to redouble our efforts if this bill becomes law. But I would just please urge you to bombard the offices of your legislators with phone calls and letters. Schedule meetings if you can. I know that this is we're in a situation with the COVID pandemic, but try to speak to your legislators on the phone. I don't believe it's a coincidence that they're doing it at this time when we are in the middle of a pandemic. We are not able to go and testify in person at the legislature. If we could, we would organize lobbying days down there, have press conferences, have rallies, do all that we could, communicate with our legislators in person. But we're not able to do that, and that's why they're really taking advantage in introducing it at this time. So again, please do everything you can to get the word out to people. And even if you have friends and family who, don't understand the whole abortion issue and might consider themselves pro-choice, please explain to them how extreme this bill is. This will allow abortions the entire 9 months of pregnancy. It makes it less safe for women. There are no protections for minors. It allows minors to have abortions and, for their parents not to be informed. And obviously, this is not a route that New Jersey wants to go down. Also, because of the advances in science and technology, we also know that we can see the baby in the womb, and we know that this is obviously a living human being that's capable of experiencing pain. What this law will do, if it's passed, is it will prevent future legislatures from having a say and taking into account any further advances in science and medicine. And it also will it'll deprive the people of New Jersey the right to have a say on one of the most significant issues of our time. When Roe versus Wade was decided, it was completely taken out of the hands of the states. The people never had a chance to vote on this. If Roe versus Wade is ever overturned, it will go back to the states. If New Jersey passes this law, it will prevent the future citizens and the future legislatures from having a say in this. And that's why they're doing it. So please educate everybody you know. Go on our website. Our website is www.njrtl.org. Go under the legislation tab and you will see the information about this bill. And there's also a pre-written email where you can take action. If you have any questions or you'd like to join our efforts to try and fight this bill, please contact us. You can call our office during business hours. The phone number is 732-562-0562, or you can email us at feedback@njrtl.org. Thank you.
I have a couple of questions. One,
Sure.
as you were saying that the women, girls that want to get an abortion won't need to ask the permission of the parents. That would take that would make a major effect in the world, because if they can't observe their parents as authority, how will they observe anyone else as authority? You know what I mean? It will impact
Yeah.
society that way.
Well, you're right. Actually, we did pass the parental notification law in 1999, and it was struck down. And so, you're absolutely right. But what this law will also do is prevent future legislators from making any laws on abortion, like parental notification, like informed consent, 24-hour waiting periods, those type of laws, any bans on late-term abortions. Abortions can be performed the entire 9 months of pregnancy, but we know that the majority of people do not support that. In New Jersey, a poll was taken, back when we were working on the partial birth abortion ban, and 82% of New Jersey citizens said that they supported banning partial birth abortions. Unfortunately, that law was struck down as well, but then it passed on the federal level. But abortion doctors are getting around the law by killing the baby first before the baby comes out. I was in the courtrooms during many of these hearings on the partial birth abortion bill and the parental notification bill. And I got to hear right from the abortionists' mouths all the horrible ways that they kill these little babies. And it was just so horrible. I mean, it's one thing to read about it, but it's another thing to hear about it right from those who do them. And they were asking all kinds of questions, the lawyers for Planned Parenthood and the ACLU, and they admitted that, the baby's heart was still beating, when they were removing the babies many times and from the womb, that the baby was, obviously still alive as the baby was exiting the womb, and they were disarticulating the heads off bodies, and it was just so horrendous. And it strengthened my resolve to continue this work, because, you hear these things and you just can't even believe it. You just can't imagine it, that, anybody could hurt little innocent babies like this, and that this is going on in our country, but it is.
It's
And again, we really have to educate people about it.
it's savage. And well, I'm glad you brought up that never is there a time that it would be better for the mother who's pregnant to have an abortion. The simple solution is give birth to the baby early, you know,
Right.
and then both win.
Right. And many times many of these abortion procedures, especially those done late term, they have to give birth anyway. They inject the baby's heart to stop the baby's heart from beating, and the mother has to give birth. So yes, exactly. Why not give the baby a chance to live? And if they don't want the child, and even if the child has a disability, there are so many people who have adopted children and are willing to do that. So there should never be a reason, obviously, to kill a baby, because the baby isn't wanted, or the baby has some kind of a disability, or supposedly the baby's not viable. Because so often medicine is wrong, and so often we have seen that in our own lives. I'm sure, we've known people who've been told that, or even with some of the work that I did on the assisted suicide legislation, the language in that law says, anyone who is diagnosed with a terminal illness and has 6 months or less to live can take lethal medication and kill themselves. And we heard from scores of people who said they were diagnosed, with 6 months or less to live, and they're still here 10 years later, 15 years later. So medicine is often wrong. And obviously, we need to trust God.
Amen. And we discussed earlier before going on the show, what directives would you give people with the mail-in votes now?
Yeah, this is really important. A lot of people we're hearing have not mailed in their ballots because they don't trust the post office. But really, this is the best way to vote right now. So for those of you who are listening, if you have not mailed in your ballot, please mail it in. They know in certain areas that the people who are voting for Republican candidates, and of course, we're nonpartisan, but the people that we're supporting are pro-life are Republican in this election. But the Democratic ballots that they've received outnumber the Republican ballots, like, I don't know, 2-1, 4-1. It's really very scary. And so it's really important that everybody votes by mail. If you go to the polling place, you're not going to be allowed to vote unless you have a disability. They will give you a provisional ballot. You'll be waiting online for hours, and those provisional ballots may not even be counted. And if they are, they're only going to be counted after they make sure you didn't mail in a ballot. So please make sure you mail in your ballot. You can also go to the polling. You can also go to your county board of elections and hand it to the county clerk. You can do that as well. But at this time, I would really advise that you mail it in, and you can track your ballot. We have information online about that. And please don't delay, because it could take a while. And I know it's not the most ideal way to vote, and we're not happy about it, but this is really what we have to deal with. So it is a mistake to hold on to your ballot. Please, please, please put it in the mail right away, or deliver it to your local county board of elections. And you can go online. On our website, we have our PAC endorsements, and we actually have a couple of links and information about where to go to drop them off. But you have to go to your county board of elections, wherever that is, and make sure you go, obviously, during the hours that there's going to be someone there to take your ballot. So important.
Well, we thank you so much, Marie, for the noble cause that you really fight for, the lives of these children, and it's really beautiful. But I do know that the New Jersey Right to Life has hit hard times because of the COVID, and you need
Yes.
funding. And could you please tell people where to go to help?
Sure. So right now we have our annual raffle that's going on, and as Karen mentioned, we have been impacted, and we will continue to be impacted, and we expect to be impacted with the raffle as well. If you would like to purchase tickets, please call our office at 732-562-0562, or you'd like to help sell tickets, we would greatly appreciate it. The raffle drawing is November 20th. It's a Friday, and the first prize is a car. The second prize is a $1,000 gift certificate at ShopRite. The third prize is a $750 gift certificate from ShopRite, and the fourth prize is a $500 gift certificate from ShopRite. So you have 4 chances to win. If a raffle isn't something that you're interested in, you can go on our website and you can donate through the website, or you can call our office and give us a credit card information. We greatly appreciate your support of our work. It is really difficult being a pro-life organization in the state of New Jersey. And of course, we don't get funding from, Phil Murphy or the legislature. And we rely on the goodwill of our donations and the people who support our work, and recognize that we are here to speak for the most vulnerable, and we always will be, and we'll continue to fight, and we will always continue to fight for the lives of the most vulnerable as long as God gives us the ability to do so. But we do need your support, so please help us. Thank you.
May God bless you, and we will pray for you, and you pray for us too, Marie. And thank you
Absolutely.
so much for coming on. I'll give you a call in a little while. God
Okay,
bless
thank
you.
you.
Thank
God bless
you.
you too. Thank you for having me. Bye-bye.
Oh, bye-bye. Well, you see all the damages in the world now, and the Lord always provided something for us to heal all of this, and that's love. That's love. We have this book, The Love Club, inspired, and we hope that many, many people could go out and read it and be filled with His holy love and the definition, the true definition of God as He defined it, because He is love itself, as opposed to the way the world lied about what love is all about. So if you want to get the Love Club, go to Amazon.com. It's in digital format or paperback. Thank you so much. Hi, my name is Karen Jeffson from John Leaves Evangelization. We've been doing this live stream to stop abortion since May 13th, 2020, and we try to do prayers each day, every day, with speakers. If you would like to donate to this worthy cause to stop abortion, something that is righteous in the eyes of God, please donate to us at johnleaps.com, johnleaps, Leaps.com, or call 800-313-6933. We could really use it, and we thank you very much. God bless you all.